How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to what is meant to be the Fourever Arsenal podcast. But there's only three of us here at this moment in time. At the time of recording, it is 12 minutes past 10
Look
on a
at this
Thursday
guy.
night.
I'm here, James. I know you're definitely here. And Turkish is the host, so he's definitely here. Who's missing, James? Who's missing?
He's just wrapped up now. How good of him.
That's nice of him.
How good of him.
That's kind of him.
Up.
Live on Lead Judges TV. Can you believe it?
Absolute liberty.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
We've been here 12 minutes. We've been waiting. So we've had to just start without him. Normally we'd wait, but we've caught him. We've caught him cheating on us.
And the comments absolutely love him normally. I bet they're still going to give him a pass. They'll make an excuse for him.
Yeah.
They'll make excuses for him. If I did that, if Turkish did that, the comments, we love you, Lee. We love you. Sharoy in. There you go.
Yeah.
You know what he's done? He's done the Aubameyang. He's done the Aubameyang.
Yeah.
He's turned up late.
I think he's disrespecting the Fourever Arsenal
Disrespecting
podcast.
the team.
Yeah,
Turkish
but in fairness, he's worse than Aubameyang because Aubameyang wasn't late because he was playing for another team.
It's true.
You know?
And to be fair, Aubameyang won us an FA Cup. I don't know what
right.
I know what you mean. What's he ever done for us? What's he ever done for us?
Disgrace.
I know. And point fingers and blame other people.
Absolute disgrace.
Yeah. That's why we decided to go live. Because we thought, you know what? Usually Lee's moaning about us lot, but look, here we are, 12 minutes in.
We don't need him. Here we
are. Don't need him at all.
I got a flight to catch at 6 in the morning. It's just
unbelievable.
It's disgraceful. It's disgraceful.
And his show ended like a minute ago, and he's still not here.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
This is the North London Derby episode.
The big one, Turkish.
This is the really big one. We didn't even have a background ready to go. This is just
We only have a background for 4 people, and here we are. It's just the 3 of us.
I thought we were a team. I thought we were a foursome, a unit. But we see now, his own channel. We've all got our own channels, Lee. We've all got our own platforms, but we prioritize Fourever Arsenal.
I know. It's about the collective.
It is. Team game.
I think it means more to us than it does to him. But
I think it does.
I will welcome in the 4th member of the Fourever Arsenal podcast team.
He's right.
Absolute. Look at him. Absolute disgrace.
No, sorry.
Where have you been?
I'll tell you what's happened, right? It's my 3rd podcast today. I've done Sophie's one earlier on. That's run late. And then, of course, that's made my one late. And it's like, so I do apologise,
Right.
So
the smallest violin in the world there, Lee. The
smallest violin. I know. I'm going to get some fucking stick. So I hold my hands up like that.
We
just carried on without you, mate. We just thought we'll just power on.
You wouldn't do that, James, you little wanker.
Look in the top left corner. We're
live,
three
mate.
minutes.
We're live.
Listen, I remember, right? Are we live?
We are recording.
Oh my God!
We are recording. So I don't know what
You're cracking on.
You dirty lots! You absolute. Oh, that is it. Like, I have sat around, right, on my birthday, right, missing valuable sun because people have not turned up, and we have never gone live. You absolute slags! You absolute slags! I'm not having this no more.
Oh my God!
That is it.
We played your show on the podcast.
I'll tell you what, this is unforgivable. This is well you said it because I was just about to slate you on air, James. You know what I mean?
Sounds like you did.
I think you realised. It said, Lee, we're on live. We're live. I go, what's that red thing in the sound? No, we're 4 minutes in. I will never ever forgive you for this, you guys. I will never ever forgive you for it.
And by live, we do mean being recorded.
Yeah. There's no comments
live on YouTube, Lee.
Yeah, it's not live on YouTube though, is it?
No, but someone did say to me yesterday as he was leaving the office, he said 10 p.m. is a good time to go live. Certain wise man said,
listen, anything you say now, I'm not going to listen to you no more. Like, you know what I mean? Your nickname now is Judas. I've had to just try and defend you on my show, like, you know what I mean? Like, that you're a nice guy, like, you know what I mean? Like, but they are actually not having you no more, Turkish. They're actually calling you Cyprus now because you've turned like it's just ridiculous, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Lee, out of the three of us, who do you think was the reason behind starting to record before you entered?
There's only one, like, it's the Channel 4 man. I know it's him, like, you know what I mean? Like, don't say it was the dirty dog next to me, like, I'll tell you that, you know what I mean? Because that will hurt. I can expect it from him up there. I can expect, but you, James, if you've done that to me, I'm telling you that now. This is getting worse.
I'm dead.
Getting worse.
I'm dead.
James, you are. I'm going to start. Like, I've got Cyprus up there, and you're the snake. I tell you that. You know what I mean? Like, that is unreal. I expect it from the Channel 4 man. I really do. Yeah, I just expect it from you. You know what I mean? Like, but James, you're like that. You're like that. I tell you, I'd never go on a bank robbery with you. You know what I mean? Like, well, where was you? It was him. He made me do it. He made me do it.
Well, welcome to the show.
Yeah, welcome.
Oh shit!
It's been a while. It's been a while, isn't it? Like,
oh man, your face, Lee. You realised what was going on.
I didn't realise, honestly. Can we cut that bit out?
No, we're clipping that up. That's going on socials.
I can't believe these dirty dogs have done that to me. Like, you know what I mean? Turkish, he sanctioned it as well. Like, you know what I mean? All the times I've sat there waiting for you. I've gone, no, we can't. Yeah, you sanctioned it. I can't believe it. Like, you know what I mean?
No, so you know what? To be fair, Turkish, I think we should start the pod again. But keep this, keep this, because I want a copy of it. Yeah, just keep this first 7 minutes.
What do you guys think? Should we start it again or keep it rolling?
What? Why don't we just?
I would have
keep it.
Let's keep it.
If you enjoyed that first little segment, people, hit the like button. And welcome back to the Fourever Arsenal podcast. As usual,
that's what we're like before we go on. Like, you know, really, isn't it? That's what it is. So they've actually.
That's easily the worst prank we've ever played on. I mean, we don't really do a lot of pranks. We'll do a lot of teasing, whatever. But that is.
I can't believe you got me there. Like, do you know what? I never thought you'd do that.
For what it's worth,
he actually sounds betrayed.
Yeah,
totally. Like, I've still got my dinner in the oven. Like, I've not eaten my dinner. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I'd have known that, I would have seen it live, and I just ate my dinner. Like, you know what I mean? Then come on, you horrible free.
Cool. That's nicely put, Lee. In the end of it, a horrible free. We'll keep it at that. But let us move forward now. I do want to hear what you had to talk about on your channel regarding me and what I had to say. But
I'm crying.
It is a North London derby weekend. There's also a Manchester derby, and a lot of people are debating which derby's bigger. I don't think it's much of a debate, and I don't think none of us do either. But yeah, Tottenham at the Emirates Stadium, midday, game week 9. We kick it all off after the international break. More or less a fully fit squad. I think it's only Emile Smith-Rowe and Cedric, I believe, unavailable, which bodes well. It's a shame for Emile Smith-Rowe because I think he still has an important role to play in this team. Whether it's starting games or, more importantly, coming off the bench. We saw what he added to us last season. It's a shame to hear he's just undergone surgery and he's going to be out for a little while. But hopefully he can put those injury problems behind him. He's still young and, hopefully he kicks on when he comes back. But yeah, the North London derby, Tottenham. Jordan, let's start with you, man. International break. We had a couple of weeks to chill. But all of that chilling... It stops Saturday. Saturday morning, we all wake up, and I guess it's either nerves, excitement. How are you going to be feeling?
Excited, Turkish. Really excited. It's obviously a big game. It's funny because I don't have the hatred towards Spurs that a lot of my fellow Arsenal fans do. Because
why?
Well, let me tell you why. I didn't grow up in Haringey or Islington. So I didn't grow up in the area of North London. So I don't have that kind of local feel of, them over there. And second reason is I didn't really have that mum or dad that was an Arsenal fan that kind of instilled in me when I was younger. Those lot over there, they're scumbags, they're trash, they're this. And I never had that either. I don't like them. I want them to lose every single game that they play until the end of their existence. I have no time for Spurs. But for me, this game isn't really about, and maybe that's why I'm able to compartmentalize the fact of the rivalry and and I hate them and all that sort of stuff with the fact of I just want a good performance and 3 points. And that's what I'm looking for. And I think the good performance bit is, for me personally, key. I still feel at this part of the season, performances are important. The reverse fixture, whatever they call their stadium now, whatever it is, February, March, April, just give me the points. At that point, it's about the points. But I think that the performances at this part of the season still do matter, which is why I took a lot from the Man United defeat. And the reason why this game is interesting is because you've got Spurs are almost the opposite. They're blagging wins. They've not really played well this season, but yet they're third in the league. Fair play to them. But you know my stance. I don't think you can do that and sustain it for a very, very long time. So I think it's also very interesting because it's another test for Arteta, because the Man United test, many will say he failed because he lost, got no points. Another big team, another rival for top four. We're playing now and at home. Can he outdo Conte? Conte, we know, is a world-class manager. They've got Son, who's off the back of a hat-trick, albeit a couple of weeks ago. Kane, I think, will want to, his record against us is really good. Even at the Emirates, he's got a few goals against us there as well. So this is not going to be an easy game. I think we win it because I think we always beat them. We normally beat them at the Emirates. Our record against them at home is really, really good. We are the form team. So I'm excited, but I'm also keen to see how Arteta does against another rival manager. And the final thing I'll say as well is if I hear any fan, I'm gonna, you know me and these stupid football cliches. I do not want to hear this whole it's a derby, form goes out the window. It's a load of nonsense. It's crap. It's one of those Sky Sport, Talk Sport cliches that people just regurgitate. It's rubbish. Form is relevant. If you look at any derby, the team that's in form or the bigger club, more often than not, wins the game. If Spurs were to win on Saturday, it would be a shock. Not because they're crap or they're a small club, but we are the favourites. We're top of the league, we're on form, and we're at home with no injuries, no major injuries. If Spurs win this game, it's a shock. But for me, derbies normally go according to form. So when people say, it's a derby, anything can happen, that's rubbish. It's rubbish.
I don't think it is rubbish.
It is rubbish. Most derbies...
No, I don't think it is.
Most derbies, look at who wins.
Look how many times Man United have beaten Man City.
That comes to mind a lot.
And look how many times Liverpool beat Everton.
Yeah, okay, but there's a massive difference in quality there. But when you're looking at two teams that are more evenly matched, maybe in terms of players, in terms of investment,
give me another example.
But I mean, there's like countless Man United, Man City examples.
No. Give me an example. Give me another fixture example.
Arsenal, Man United.
It's not a derby.
Which one?
It's not a derby, but it's a big game.
I'm talking about derbies.
Okay.
Newcastle, Sunderland, the team that's doing well in the league, normally wins that match. It's very rare.
Sunderland had the upper hand on Newcastle for years. I don't think Newcastle beat them in like 8 or 9 derbies, and we're finishing above them. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know about that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that.
I'm convinced Newcastle went on a long run of not beating Sunderland. They
I
did.
I hear what I'm gonna agree with my Channel 4 man. I do certainly agree with what he's saying a little bit there.
No, you're just pissed off that we pulled a prank on you, and everyone's seeing you for who you really are.
It's just a cliche that I just hear and I just think it's not true. The form team normally wins, so form is relevant. This idea that because it's a derby, players lift their game, I don't buy that. I just don't buy it. The better team normally wins. Sorry.
Lee, you agree?
I certainly a little bit. I do agree with that. You know, I mean, like the better team normally wins. If you're the better team, you're gonna win. I think that the difference between Arsenal and Spurs is I don't think there's that much between them in nowadays. I really do feel. I feel that Tottenham have got the better hand over us at their ground, and we've got the better hand over them at our ground. And I think that because there's not a lot between the two teams, I think home advantage is a key thing, and I think that that's why I'm confident going into this game that we'll win the game because we're at home. And that's the only reason, I think. I don't think there's anything too much difference in the two teams. I will say this, that if I'll be honest, I think Arsenal are in better form. I think Arsenal are playing really, really well. I don't think Tottenham would if you was a real die-hard Spurs fan, you wouldn't be actually happy with the way they're playing at the minute. They're happy with getting results and grinding out results. Of course they are. But I'm actually happy with the way we're playing. And I do think that this is a big game for us because I feel that if we win this game, it takes us going on to the Liverpool game. But if we was to lose this game and then lose to Liverpool next week, it puts us in a really down where we normally are have been, and questions are going to be asked. So I think that this is a very, very statement-like win for us today. And one of the main reasons for that, guys, is because we're at home. We can't afford to lose to one of our rivals at home or drop points. We've got to nail it at home because away from home it's difficult to win, you know, against the big teams, as it proved against Man United. You've got no divine right to go to Man United, Liverpool, Manchester City, Tottenham and win those games, but you've got a divine right to win them at home. And I think that we've got to start doing that and be ruthless at home and win these big games. You know, last season lost to Chelsea at home, lost to Manchester City at home, lost to Liverpool at home. We've got to win all of those games this season. If we're going to be top four and challenging for it, win at home, all of those games, which is not going to be easy, but that's what we've got to look to do. Then you can go to those away games later on in the season, which are going to be very, very difficult. And if you get anything, it's a bonus.
I've looked at the last
for what it's worth, I do enjoy my stats.
Oh, here we go.
Newcastle this record remains, haven't beaten Sunderland since the 20th of August 2011. Since then, they've played, I think, 9 games and they've drawn 3 of them. So 5 or 6, I can't count, this too small. So basically, they've played, I think, 8 or 9 times and Newcastle haven't beaten them once. And having a quick look through the Premier League tables, I think they finished above them Newcastle finished above Newcastle every season, bar the one season they got relegated. I think the season after Sunderland got relegated. So there's a little bit of merit to this idea that, form does go out the window, and not necessarily derbies, but big games where there's a different fan pressure, there's a different expectation, there's a different motivation. Look at Man United. They lost to Brighton and Brentford earlier this season. Look at the performance they delivered against Liverpool. Granted, Liverpool didn't start well, but that was only the 3rd game of the season, and they were brilliant. They won. Arsenal went to Old Trafford, by far the better team, played the better team, but Man United found extra motivation, extra something, tactically got it right, and they won that game. I think there's absolute merit to this idea that when it comes to these really, really big games, I think both teams kind of almost not forget, because there's muscle memory and there's rhythm and all those things, and momentum. But I think sometimes you can get caught up in the occasion and forget actually who's the better team, who's playing better. But I think you can get caught up in those things.
I guess I'm talking about not big games, but derbies. The narrative is always, it's a derby, anything can happen. They don't say that when it's a big game. They say it when it's a derby. And I'm saying the majority of derbies. Okay, I'll give you Newcastle, Sunderland, but the majority of derbies tend to go with the team that's either the bigger club or the team in form. Is this idea that because it's a derby that the players lift themselves a bit? I don't believe that happens.
I think they do.
Isn't the form pretty much the same going into this game? I don't think there is much difference. I think Ali said, we're more on form performance-wise and being happy with what we're seeing. But equally, a Tottenham fan could probably say, you know what? We're here without even hitting, 5th gear. That might be their opinion of Tottenham's performances so far. We might look at it as maybe a lack of ideas, maybe Conte's plans are not working, but they might be looking at it as they've had a big summer in terms of players coming in. It's Conte's first full season. They're going to have to overcome a few obstacles before, seeing a better period of performances. But whilst they wait for that, being in and around the top 3, top 4, top 5, would bode well for them. So form-wise, I don't think there's much in it.
But we all agree we're the favourites. It might be marginal.
Yeah.
We're the favourites.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I think this is one of those few games where a neutral would put their money on a draw. I think the clash of styles, the way Conte is with these big games, he relishes these kind of things.
If they had to pick. If they had to pick a winner,
Yeah.
no, draw's not an option.
If they
The
had
neutral,
to, then sure, but we know a draw is possible. You know,
course,
we
of
know
course.
that you get a point each. And we've seen Conte twice. His first time with his Chelsea team, went and won at the Etihad. His first time with his Spurs team, went and won at the Etihad. He's got this ability and this knack for building a side that are used to raising their level for these big games, to being organized and focused and having enough firepower to do something the other way. And by the way, that's not just a Conte thing. That's quite ingrained in Spurs' recent history. Spurs got to the Champions League final as the underdog, not in terms of maybe the players they had or whatever, but certainly the way they played. Less of the ball, less chances, didn't look the better team, got to a Champions League final doing that. And actually they've had success under Mourinho, playing again very organized, blah, 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 on the counter. Son and Kane absolutely tear teams apart. So this is really like set up nice. I mean, I've got to say, if you're a neutral, you're going to this weekend going, are you kidding me? Go out on the Friday night, wake up hungover, watch myself some Arsenal Tottenham, then enjoy the rest of the football, and then go again Sunday with the Manchester Derby. I mean, you've got two really great games to indulge in, and I think it's a really tight one between the two North London teams.
But by the way, I've just jinxed us, and we're going to lose blatantly on Saturday now. I've just jinxed us up a night.
Oh yeah, you've made yourself the target. We don't win, that's for sure. But listen, I think we are all pretty confident with it. Don't get me wrong. There's some nerves there because it is a derby, and you know, Tottenham, Conte, like James just said, Conte knows how to pull big wins out of the bag. But I still think, you know, Jordan's right. We are favourites. If you had to pick a side, even as a neutral, I think they would lean more towards Arsenal, especially considering that Zinchenko's back, Odegaard's back in, Thomas Partey seems to be back in, Tierney seems to be okay after the knock he had in the first Scotland game in the international break. I think, aside from Emile Smith-Rowe, who with a fully fit squad comes in off the bench, I think, you know, how can we not be confident when you look at, you know, the personnel and on the personnel lineup wise, do we do anything different? You know, is it Odegaard straight back in? Well, I assume so.
Yeah.
Well, can I put this question out there? Does the Kulusevski news change anyone's stance? Because it does for me. I don't know, Lee, whether you feel you'd maybe manage that left back situation differently with or without Kulusevski playing.
Yeah, for me, I think I've got a little feeling that Spurs may wouldn't probably play him anyway. I think that they may go and play Basuma in there and just try and match up our midfield and a little bit there, because I think if Tottenham go in with them three up front, which is going to be dangerous on the counter attack, but I think we can then dominate in midfield, like, you know, with the 3 against 2. And I think that where other teams have like Leicester have done well at that, but then haven't defended well. If Arsenal defend well, I think they go and win the game. I think that the real key decision is the left back. I think Ben White, I think, will get the nod over Tomiyasu. I don't think he's done anything wrong at this moment. But if Tomiyasu was playing, I don't think none of us would be too bothered by that, would we? Like, you know, but I just see this left back position. Do we go gun ho against them? Probably leave a little bit open. And that would be, for me, Zinchenko playing there. For me, I still think we got to go for it, but be a bit cautious as well, defend properly. So I would go with Tierney. But I'm actually, when the teams come out, that I think that's a very, very interesting one to go for, really. Like, you know, I if it was me personally, I know, like, I think we said on here before, for home games, we'd probably go Zinchenko, and then away games, probably go Tierney, like, and keep it tight. But I think Tierney done very, very well in the last game against Brentford. I think we looked solid, that defensive 4, and still attacked very, very well, by the way. I don't think it's not when you play Tierney that you actually lose everything going forward, because you don't. But I just think he's a little bit solid at the back. I don't know if you guys agree or not.
Yeah, you get something different from Tierney in terms of attack. He puts his head down, he gets down the line, and he gets low crosses into the box. I know it's not Zinchenko. What Zinchenko brings is refreshing for us, because we haven't had that type of a fullback at this football club, full stop. So it's different, it's new, and it's nice when you see it work well in the early games of the season. Is Kulusevski definitely out?
50-50, isn't it?
50-50. Well, you know what? They spent 60 on Richarlison, and Richarlison, he poses different problems in himself. he probably is the type of player that relishes derbies. You know, if there's we might agree to disagree in terms of Jordan's point earlier, but when it comes to derbies, there's certain players that relish that, the clash, not just on the pitch, but off the pitch too, the fans and what it brings on social media. We saw what Richarlison did with Liverpool Everton. So if Kulusevski's out and they were to go with a front three, Richarlison's a very good backup to bring in.
But you've almost undone your own point there, Turkish. I think Richarlison's the sort of person that plays that way every game. I don't think he's thinking it's a derby. Yeah. I'm going to be an absolute shithouse. Do you know what I mean? I think that's just him.
No, I think he does. I'm with
he plays with a chip on his shoulder more often than not, but derby.
Yeah, I think he's got this. I'm going to make you hate
Arsenal,
me.
He generally does it, but he knows in the derbies, in the big games, if he does something or he provokes something, he knows it's going to be much bigger than if he does it against Brighton or Brentford, which he still does, because that's his character. You're right, Jordan. But I think in the derbies, especially off the pitch, on Twitter, you look at what he did with Liverpool, Everton, and the fans and whatnot. You can see he'll add his own threat, but I'm kind of with Lee. I'm not sure what they're going to do, because I spoke to Tobes and Box to Box. I've spoken to a few other Tottenham fans, and they're suggesting it's going to be Kane and Son more or less up top, and then like Lee said, an extra midfielder in to shore it up. I'd be quite surprised, but at the same time, I wouldn't, considering it's Antonio Conte, and the formation or how you set out doesn't necessarily mean it's negative or defensive. That's what we need to, mind about. Going 5 at the back doesn't necessarily mean they're going to try and, sit back. Those wing backs have a big job on their hands, and if we lack defensively, they got enough.
They'll exploit it. They'll exploit it. If we're not on our game defensively, they'll exploit it. And I don't buy into this. We've had all possession and all that. Tottenham will give up possession. Let's get that right. They will give up possession so they can hit us on the break. That doesn't mean to say that you're the better side or whatever. That they are allowing you to do that. They allowed us to have the possession at Tottenham, and they beat us 3-0. So don't be kidding into the fact, they're defending all that. That is what they want. They want to put us into a position where they can hit us on the break, get 3 against 3. So we've got to be cautious. We've got to be up here this time around, like we wasn't last time. But we've got different players this time around. We can push up to the halfway line with Gabriel and Saliba. We pushed up on the halfway line with the likes of Holding and Cedric, which was realistically poor managing or coaching or tactics from Arteta. This time he can push up to the halfway line because we have that recovery in us.
I agree. I think it's a big game for Saliba. I'm really keen to see how he deals with Kane. Kane is, a top gun man, and he's got a good record against us. I think it's a really good test to see in his evolution if he can handle and keep someone like Harry Kane quiet. I totally agree. Again, I always bang on about Arteta learning lessons, and agree with Lee in terms of Holding was just Son was just too smart for him. He was too smart for him. Will Son and Kane be too smart for Saliba? We're gonna soon find out. But yeah, because Saliba, unlike Holding, isn't slow, they can push up and they can squeeze the field a little bit more. I think Richarlison, again, we have to be smart. Richarlison will try his best to try and wind us up. We just can't fall for that. We know what's coming there. So, and we've just outlined as well how we think Spurs are going to play, how Conte's teams play. We know that. So I expect Arteta to plan for that and have a plan to mitigate against that. It's a big game for me for Gabriel Jesus, as well as he's done this season so far. These are the games. I was going to say Lacazette let us down. Lacazette's record against Spurs actually wasn't that bad. He actually scored a few goals against Spurs. But generally, Lacazette in the big games wasn't amazing. These are the games where I don't just need a lot of great hold-up play, link-up play from Gabriel Jesus. I need him to get those goals in this game. These are the games where I think will be the difference in terms of getting that top 4 spot. And we've got a top striker now. He has to score in this game. And I agree with Lee's point, and James will like this. I'd play Tierney and Zinchenko. I'd play Tierney at left back, and I'd actually put Zinchenko midfield, and I would actually potentially bench Partey and bring him on if needed. I'm not convinced he's this game. We saw, was it 2 years ago, where he came off in North London derby, where we thought he was fit, and he just clearly wasn't fit, and he had to hobble off or whatever
I
it
look
was.
at most big games we won over the last 18, 24 months, and it's been a Partey El Nene midfield,
It has.
if not Partey Xhaka.
It has.
And when I look at the Man United game and Sambi's inexperience, let's say, in the starting 11 positionally, Gabriel, you're not just Jesus, but Gabriel at the back. You know, last time out against the big six club Man United, I was asking questions about him at the end. This one, I need him solid because
I wouldn't play him. Sorry, Sambi, you mean, or Gabriel at the back?
Gabriel at the back.
Oh, sorry, yeah, I agree with that. But these are the games where surely Zinchenko was bought for. When we need to play him in midfield, he can do a good job in midfield.
That's what James assumed at the start of the season. That's why James made the bet with Robbie about
that's
where
I thought we signed him. But I mean, but then I wouldn't put Xhaka deep in that position Partey's in because you need that mobility, you need that really quick thing. Look, Xhaka's improved so much for me. And listen, there's a lot of people saying, no, he's always been at that level. Not for me. For me, it's a great improvement, which is why I've got this belief. I'm not looking at you, Leah. You've always been fair. A lot of people will tell you, Xhaka's always been like this. You're only just seeing it, blah, blah, blah. I disagree. I'm seeing completely different Xhaka in role, in everything. Like, he just looks a different player to me, and I'm loving it. But I wouldn't take him out of that position. I wouldn't. Remember when we lost Partey last time, and then we took Xhaka out of. No, who did we lose? I think we lost Tierney.
Partey and Tierney at the same time.
Then we put Xhaka to left back. So we'd actually cost ourselves in 3 positions. I just think whoever's the rightful next person takes that slot. But I would go with Zinchenko at left back, because the reason I go for Zinchenko at left back is because. And I think only 5 hours ago I did the news show with Cecil, and I've already changed my mind on this. I said Kulusevski would play. I think I said that. I've changed my mind. I don't think he'll play because of what you said, Turkish. Which actually, I think the other 2 options are too good. You know, play your £60 million player in Richarlison, or bring Basuma into midfield. Why risk it? So I actually think, and he's been happy to drop Kulusevski this season already. So. And what I'm trying to say is, I think Zinchenko plays. I would play Zinchenko because with Richarlison, I think it's more about getting the ball to him in terms of the feeding, the delivery, the kind of chance he wants to feed off. Whereas Kulusevski, I think he could receive the ball almost anywhere, beat a couple players, create himself, and you'd want a Tierney to kind of match up with that a little bit more. I don't think Richarlison's going to get the ball and drive at 3 players. I mean, he can do it. I just don't think. I think he's evolved his game away from that, but Tottenham fans might tell you differently. So I would play Zinchenko because I think he'll give us, hopefully, the aspiration is ultimate control in midfield. If you really want to stop Spurs, just don't let them have the ball. And Zinchenko is one of your best ways of doing that.
One player we mentioned. Sorry, go on, Turkish. Go on.
No, go on, Jordan. Go on.
I said one player we mentioned before we came on there was Saka and his performances for England. And I didn't realize you told me, Turkish, just before we came on, that he's the league's 2nd highest assist maker. I knew I always thought he was playing well this season, but I didn't know that he was his output was that impressive. So I'm hoping that off the back of what I thought was a really strong cameo for England, he's coming to this game, you know, revved up, good to go, and ready to do some damage as well. I'm looking for another big game from him, and I think if we can. If that front 3 we've got with him, Jesus, and Martinelli, that's fire. Spurs have got fire up from their front 3 as well. But I'm really hoping that Saka can bring his England form to this game as well. And I hope there's none of that post international break funk. I just hope there's none of that nonsense. I hope they really come into this game. It's a midday game. We've been starting games really, really well. I think the atmosphere the last 3 or 4 North London derbies at the Emirates the last 3 or 4 years has been absolutely insane. I think we've got to do our bit as well. We've got to really make it loud in there, really let the boys know that we're here and we're liking what they're doing. I don't think we can panic. I mean, having to be fair, if we go 1-0 down, go on.
Sorry, use that word panic. Use that word panic. And that is a really big thing I don't want these players to go out with. Now, this is going to sound crazy, and I might get some hate in the comments for this, but hear me out.
Take it from me.
I don't think the players need to play with this mentality of like, we must win. because it will show in their football. It will kind of show in the way they snatch their chances. Maybe they try attempt a cross that isn't really on or whatever. Play your football, be confident, take the game to them. The chances will come, hopefully put them away. I don't want this panic, this like, we must avenge that 3-0 defeat last season. We must win so we stay top of the table. It's a marathon, not a sprint. We all want to beat Tottenham. I'm desperate to beat Tottenham. We can beat Tottenham. But if we don't, the whole thing doesn't collapse. So just play smart. Don't overcommit. Then you're caught. We lose the game 1-0. These things. And I think panic is the word that would feed into us making those kind of stupid, naive decisions. I think Man United at Old Trafford is a good example. We got ourselves back in the game. We're on the front foot. We concede. Arteta panics. He thinks we'll go to a back three. We're going to go for it. Or maybe panic. He tried to go for it to pull it back. And actually, we left ourselves more exposed. Reality is we were playing well anyway. So I just want us to have faith in what we're doing, and it will come. And I think that comes with everything. Jesus, when he gets chances, Tottenham don't concede that many chances a game, despite conceding a lot of possession. Just, relax. Another will come. Have that mentality. Another will come. It's fine. Just play your football and relax into it. I'm worried that we get too caught up in these occasions, which is why we can crumble like we did at Spurs, that we can crumble like we did at Anfield last season. And maybe sometimes it's a big game, but sometimes we make even more of it than we need to.
I think you just made a great point there. You went on about it for about 10 minutes, but you made the point.
No worries, Lee.
Play smart.
I was waiting for you to finish your stream. Thought I'd give you a bit longer. No worries.
Play smart. You said it there, and I think that is so pivotal to what we got to do. I think it was, we've got to play smart. And you did right. We didn't play smart against Man United. We didn't, but we've got to this time around. And I think it would be, I'm not going to say it's a disaster, but I don't we can't afford to lose this game. I know, like you're saying about winning it and everything. I think if we lose this game, it puts us in a real difficult position, because people will turn around and go, oh, look, they played another big team, lost this time at home, got Liverpool next. I think that this is so important that we keep the momentum going. Basically, also, like was actually said on my stream, as they actually said,
Here we go.
He's bugging it now.
It is taking absolute
the cheek of it.
Michael Bridge from Sky Sports said it like that. Sorry about that.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Disgrace.
But what I would say, and we made a very good point, is if we beat Tottenham and then beat Liverpool, that is more. I think we can go about 9, 10, 11 points clear of Liverpool. That's a lot for the top four race. So these next two games at home are massive for Arsenal. Really massive as far as statement of top four. It really is. So I think it's very, very important, this game. I'm nervous because it's Spurs, I'm not, I'm going to be really honest. I was nervous when we played Aston Villa and Fulham, It's the way it is, But I'm more nervous because we was expected to beat Fulham, we was expected to beat Aston Villa. I'll tell you that people expect us. Everybody, the neutrals I've seen today, have turned around and said, I think you beat them. People are expecting Arsenal to win because of the way we're playing. So we've got to, embrace that. That we are playing well and take it on and just play smart. Here, I've gone on for 10 minutes, and the key word is play smart.
Yeah.
Anyone else want to elaborate on playing smart, Turkish?
Well, we've just got to just really be. I'm joking. Just ramble on.
We've just got to play smart.
We've just got to play smart, and that's the podcast coming from you today, So
just got to win the game, mate. Really, that's my. I don't
expert analysis on the Fourever Arsenal.
Just all the 3 points out the
play
bag.
smart and win the game.
Play smart. That's it.
I'll tell you what. Yeah, an early goal for me would be so welcome. Because half an hour in, 0-0, 40 minutes, half time. Listen, Tottenham, we tend to forget this season, or maybe not tend to forget, but we tend to mention we still got a relatively young side. We added experience in the summer. We've got Jesus coming in, we've got Zinchenko in there now as well, but we've also got Saliba coming to the side, into the youngest side in the league last season. I don't believe that's the case this season, but Tottenham have got experience, and their manager is also more experienced. So the longer the game drags out without a goal, but you say that, Turkish, but I think that kind of then
counters what James was saying earlier on about the kind of P word. And if obviously an early goal would be great, the fans will be up, we'll be on top. But let's say we get to 60 minutes and it's still 0-0. I think it will be a sign of this Arsenal's maturity and how much they have matured. If at 0-0 with an hour gone, they can still be like, okay, that's okay. There's still half an hour left, even 70 minutes. As fans, we're going to be eating our fists. But I think the players, and that's why you bring in people for me like Jesus and Zinchenko, because those are guys that have come from a club that don't panic and just believe, just stay focused at the back. There's nothing stupid, but we will get the goal. The goal will come. And if they score, they score. But I think we need to evolve into a club now that isn't scared of it being 0-0 after 60 minutes, because big clubs get to 60 minutes at 0-0 and they just think, that's cool, there's plenty of time. And we know what we can do. If you get sucker punched, that can happen.
My problem with that is, as much as we like all the players at Arsenal, and this is not a criticism from me right now. So I know there's a lot of sensitive fans out there that just don't want to hear what others' reality of the situation is. We have no real world class experienced players. So as it gets to 60 minutes, I know what you mean. A big club in those moments will go to their world class experienced players. We don't really have that. That's why I worry about that. You are right. We need to stop worrying, and the only way to stop worrying is for them to do it. But if you asked me before the match what I'd like 60 minutes to be 3-0 up rather than be at 0-0. But I just think it comes down to, we haven't got world-class experienced talent yet. I think that's probably the last piece of the puzzle once we get Champions League football, hopefully this season. And that's why, that's why I worry about it dragging out.
Well, we'll say this, you know what I mean? Like, we're on the back of a fantastic performance and result at Brentford. The way we played, we totally dominated a game of football. Like, we got on the ball and dominated. I've not seen an Arsenal team do that for a very, very long while. We get on the ball on Saturday and dominate and make sure we don't give up possession. I think that we're capable of doing that. People said before the game, going into the Brentford game, 12 o'clock kickoff. Oh, it's going to be this, it's going to be that. Oh, Tony's going to get us, do this, there. We've got wide players. It didn't happen. We see it out and defended really well. Do you know what? We played smart. You know what I mean? So like we can.
What would you say playing smart is, Lee?
I think exactly what we've all said. So
maybe they'll invite you to a stream one day and you can both be late together.
Yeah, it's just called playing smart. But I honestly think that we're a different team. I think we panic about what's happened in the past and everything like that. I think Jesus has took us up a level. The bar's gone up because of him. I think that we're defending better because Saliba's come in and is an accomplished defender. I think very, very good on the ball. I think that, all the things that I actually can't remember the last time I've gone to a Premier League game and just sat there and enjoyed a game of football like I did at Brentford and not worry. And I think that's a credit to the Arsenal team. So listen, more of the same. More of the same.
I want to add to the play smart thing now, and what I want to add to that is that I think we also have to be ready for Conte and his ilks. They're going to play. They're going to have tricks. Thgoing to do what they can do. We have to be. We have to play smart in terms of. Yeah, he's going to have them biting, pulling, diving, going down. Pretending to be clipped in the box. They're going to be trying every single trick in the book, and I think we've got to match it. If we have to be a bit nasty and a bit dicky, then so be it, but in a very, very smart way. I think we have to realize the animal that we are up against. Conte is no fool. He's no fool, and he's a winner. And he was telling his guys, you do whatever you have to do to get out of there with at least a point. And we can't be nicey, because we're the home team that plays well and does things the right way. If we've got to be a bit nasty and a little bit naughty, then so be it. That, for me, is part of being smart. It's not falling for their tricks, but it's also when we have the chance to bend them over, take it. Yeah. Take it. It's about being ruthless.
Know your audience. I've always been a massive fan of... let's take two examples from last season, right? We went to the Tottenham game. Holding was in this one-on-one battle with Son, losing every time. The crowd was getting up for it. Then he kind of goes, there's a little bit of afters, all that. And the crowd are on one side, right? It's a losing battle either way. Whether you're right or wrong, the referee will try to be as impartial as ever. But I think away from him, you want to be calm. So I never liked Arteta at Anfield when he started arguing with Klopp or whatever. Because from what I hear from people that were there, Anfield was pretty quiet till that moment. Then suddenly they lift it. This is different. You're at the Emirates. Now, it can go the other way. We saw against Man City at the Emirates, the crowd were up for it. They were brilliant, but we lost our heads. Gabriel gets sent off. We lose the game. But I think if you can just play on it smart, let almost the fans be the antagonizers. You know, do your bit. Don't let them get away with it. Match them. Let the fans antagonize them and unsettle these Tottenham players. You play your football. I really think if Arsenal went out there totally, there's North London derby, there's always been emotion. If they went out just totally emotionless, just played their football the way they know how to, they'd win this game. I kind of think where Spurs would get under their skin is playing on those things. You're younger than us. You're more inexperienced than us. You're not as dirty and gritty as us. So we're going to make it horrible. And that's where I think sometimes we could fall on the wrong side of that line. So I'm all for passion. But if someone leaves on you, you know, and there's a little bit of cool, but don't make too much of it. Get back on that ball and play, because I think that's what Tottenham want. They want it to be broken up and horrible and stoppages every few seconds. So yeah, keep calm.
My final point would be it's a really big game for he who I won't name. I was really upset. I was really upset. No. I was really upset with him in that Man City game last year you just mentioned. And I hope this isn't a game whereby he takes the headlines for the wrong reasons. His evolution is really, really impressing me. But these are the games as to why I won't name his name, because I need him now to be the leader and the captain that I think he's turning into. And some would argue he already is. I need him to not do anything stupid in this game and lead the younger players. You talk about James there, that we have got a young team. Say to these guys, look, don't worry, I've got you. Just play football and I've got you. I'm the experienced guy on the team here. We've got this. I need him to be that guy.
He's historically great in the North London derby.
He was outstanding last season and then got injured.
He's got a record, I think, of 3 or 4 North London derbies I can think at the Emirates where he's played brilliantly.
Yes.
And I do want to double down on Xhaka, because when you mentioned the need to kind of get under their skin and you know, let's say play dirty if need be,
he can do that.
The first player I thought about in terms of the front 6, let's say, was Gabriel Jesus. Now, that's the one player we can't afford the yellow card to this game. So then the next player for me is Granit Xhaka. I know Odegaard leads the press well, but I mean, in terms of winning fouls when maybe you don't necessarily deserve a foul, going down on
he does it well.
Yeah, I'm looking at Xhaka to be a big part, and to also maybe rein Jesus in, because playing Liverpool with Jesus is a very different entity to playing Liverpool without Jesus.
Yeah, I think that's key.
I disagree. I actually disagree. I'd rather Jesus play his usual game, and if I have to sacrifice him for the Liverpool game, so be it. Of the two games, this one's more important.
Yeah. I don't mean.
I see what you're saying. What will be, will be.
Yeah, it's a good,
just play a game.
Point.
And if you get booked,
fair point. I like that.
Well, listen, what the hell do we give Eddie a new deal for if we're not happy for him to step in when Jesus can't play? You know, that's
what we gave it to him for, and the reality of the situation.
Turkish is so harsh.
You know, I'm backing him.
Cool. Well, we'll see. Hopefully, Jesus doesn't get the yellow. And considering time and Lee Judges being over 10 minutes late at the start of the show, we're going to move into.
It was 12.
We're going to move into
a big stream on. Come on.
Let me bring the table up for a reminder to people what it's looking like. James is on 9, Lee's on 8 because he's been deducted 1 point for being late.
Oh, you get out of it! I'll tell you, there will be a meltdown if that happens. I'll tell you there will be an outrage. I'll be coming straight to the boss tomorrow and having a word.
Who's the boss? He runs the stream.
I don't care whoever, I'm going over his head.
He's going to email StreamYard.
Yeah, he's going to email StreamYard. This guy, you wouldn't believe it.
He's had enough. As always, we start at top of the league. James, by letter, you're top. So you do the first prediction.
Yeah, look, I'll go 2-1 Arsenal, but I do see 1-1 written all over this, but it's Derby Day. You've got to back your team, and I actually think on the balance of chances, we should get more goals than them. We should. I think we'll create more than them. We should score more than them. But it just, you know, the form goes out the window.
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
2-1.
Come back, James. You just come back.
You know what? These derbies, form goes out the window with these predictions. It doesn't matter that I'm top. Form goes out the window. So I'm
Lee,
going
you're up
2-1.
next.
3-2.
3-2.
So
Jordan?
you were hoping for a heart attack, right?
I was gonna go 2-1, but I'm gonna go for a goalless draw. I'm going for a 0-0.
Oh, well, I know who's going to be bottom come the end of this one.
I know we're nearly at the end of the pod, but there's a little bit of feedback. I don't know if some. I just muted myself.
Probably you.
Yeah, probably is. All right, cool. So James 2-1, Lee 3-2, Jordan 0-0. To be honest, I've predicted 2-1 all week to Arsenal. But
Yeah, I
for
was
some
going
reason,
2-1.
the closer we get, the more I just see goals. 4-2 Arsenal. I'm going to go.
Oh, get in there, Turkey.
I was tempted with that, my man. I was tempted.
Yeah. You remember the last? Yeah. Let me go with 4-2.
I went a little bit reserved, but that's what I've been thinking at.
That's almost a goal for every minute of the podcast Lee missed.
Oh,
Whoa.
He doesn't want to speak. We're still live, Lee. We're still live. Yeah, that red box in the top left corner. Yeah, once that goes, say what you want to him. Let it all out.
I thought it was your scarf in the background. That's what it
I
was.
have my camera here. I have the evidence, so I could submit it to StreamYard and tell them I get abused at the workplace.
Multiple complaints to StreamYard tonight. Listen, I think the message of this stream is play smart and form goes out the window.
And get here on time. That's where
You're a wanker.
Play
But we go live
smart.
without you. That is
get on time, otherwise your mates just dish you like. You know what I mean, like, I'll never forgive it. Like,
You will never forgive us. I hope.
And I'll tell you what, I sat an hour in a hotel room waiting for, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Mate, blame your boy next to you.
No, but
I had your back.
Should we do it without him? I went, no, we can't do that. Like, and then this is what's happened today. Like, I'm not going to get over it. I tell you, two guys, like, you know.
I didn't do anything, Lee. I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Why did you say you two guys? What do you mean?
I didn't do anything.
Well, because listen, for about 5 times you've been late or haven't turned up. You've not been there, right? And James, I'm gonna blow it. I'm gonna be the whistleblower. Let's just do it us three. I've gone, no, we can't do it that, right? And today,
I'm never that late.
bosh, I'm late by a couple of minutes, and you've gone and done it. You've pressed the button. I can't believe it.
It was 12. It was 12 to be fair, but yeah, I get your point.
Listen, we saw you with someone else, so we felt betrayed. So we started. What do you want us to say?
With that guy from Sky Sports before.
Yeah.
Tottenham guy as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's a nice guy.
Imagine you walked in on me with another stream. You know?
All hell will break loose. But yeah,
Oh,
people, hope you guys have enjoyed a little behind the scenes at the start of this and the podcast. As usual, it's the North London Derby. We'll be back next week after the North London Derby, but before the next Europa League tie. I'm thinking maybe Sunday, maybe Monday, but look out for it. Subscribe, put the notification bell on. You'll know when it comes out, and also hit the like button on the way out. People, love for the love as always. Tune in next time until all the content coming out thick and fast.
Come on, you gunners.
We're out.